What's going on, everybody? Today I want to talk about why your vision doesn't work. A lot of times your vision doesn't work because you're too concerned about what other people think. Now, it's easier to not be concerned with other people think that you don't have in your immediate circle or that don't show any goodwill towards you, such as adversaries or whatever the case may be. That's easy. Um, if you're at the point in your life where you're running around and you're trying to appease everyone, you're already at fault with yourself. But when we start talking about the people in your circle, you know, your family members, your blood, your spouse, your children, you know, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being concerned with their feelings to a fault. Now, I'm not asking you to be a cold blooded person, but you know, life is about achieving balance. So, the way to balance someone's feelings are you take their feelings into consideration, but not at the point of, not to the point of not being able to accomplish your mission. Now, this is for men and women alike, but this really applies to men. You see, women are born and men are made. None of us become men until we make ourselves into being men. Like even if we have fathers, our fathers can't make us be men. They can influence us to be men, and they can cut the timeline down on when you become a man because they can help to shape, mold, and orchestrate. So, in essence, trimming out a lot of the fat so that by the time you're off and running, you have more an acute focus. When a man thinks like a woman, because a woman doesn't think like a man, then he starts to take on the thought processes and the paths that a woman takes. And that works for women, but that doesn't work for men. Men have to take on the mindset of a man. And a mindset of a man is to be able to critically think, use less emotions, willing to make sacrifices, and steadfast in the process of execution. Because typically women, they think with their feelings. And there's life and death in the power of the tongue. So even to the point of what you say out of your mouth is going to bear fruit at some point in time. If you're a negative person, you say negative things, I guarantee you have negative things going on and happening in your life. And I don't mean circumstances. I'm just talking about you not being able to catch a break. It's because of the negativity that you speak over your life, or the negativity that's in your circle that you allow to be spoken over your life. It's one of the reasons that a lot of men will not let their children say the word I can't. I can't is a word that will produce a fruit of doubt in a child, in an adult. So it's better to bite your tongue. It's like if there's life and death in the power of the tongue, then I'm convinced that your teeth are the prison bars to your mouth, to your tongue, to prohibit it from just spilling out anything that it conjures up. You just have to be thoughtful about what you say out of your mouth. Because thoughts that come into your head, those thoughts, you don't always put those thoughts in your head. Sometimes a lot of times those thoughts just appear in your head. You don't even think about them consciously. You just think about, subconsciously they just enter your head. You don't want these thoughts to enter your head. But here's what you can do with the thoughts that are in your head. You can put those thoughts on a short leash. And you can regulate those. You can bind them up. You can rebuke them. So you have to be very conscientious about that. The second thing is when it comes to your purpose. See, every man is given a vision. Some men can't hear it, and some men can. Some men will do it, and some men will ignore it or delay it. But every man is given a vision because that's really all he's given. Because a man is made and a man is not born. You are a boy when you're born, and you stay a boy until you become a man. There's no such thing as pre-man. There's no such thing as manish. It's either you are a boy or you are a man. That's it. That's all. It's over with and done. And there ain't no way around it. You either is or you ain't. Is you is or is you ain't. And I know you're probably saying, some of you out there being tedious, man, how come your camera's not adjusted or whatever the case may be? Look, my bed is not made and I don't want y'all to see it, okay? So it's not about what you see, it's about what you hear. So just, if you have ears, just hear me. Hear what I'm saying. Your vision is your vision. And in order for your vision to come true, you can't listen to anybody because that vision is between you and whom has given it to you. Whether you choose to call whom has given it to you God, Jesus, Allah, the Most High, Elohim, whatever whatever your thought process is, that's between you and the Creator. How about that? You and the Creator. Now, the Creator gives you the vision because you have the tools already to make that vision come into fruition. But you got to do things a certain way. See, there's a million ways to do things wrong, but it's one righteous path. It's one right way. If there were two rights, then what is a right? And who's going to help you figure out that is you working out your own salvation. You're going to make mistakes along the way because you may not be in tune with yourself. But the mistakes are going to be lessons to help you better get in tune with yourself. It's like whipping you into shape. The operative word is whipping. So when you're whipping something into shape, it doesn't feel comfortable in the process, but it gets in shape, and then you're grateful for the whipping. Let me give you a case in point. Let's say a man, you have a lot of women today who do not believe in 50-50. You even have some men boisterously saying 50-50 is for losers. And you know why they say that? They say that because they are where they need to be, so they don't need any help. And I'm not going to get with the whole 50-50 thing. I'm not going to even put a ratio on it. But I do know in a relationship, because I'm in one, that it's not always 100-0. It's not always 80-20, 60-40, 70-30. It's not always going to be the exact same every time. And for anybody trying to model a relationship to consistently be 50-50 is going to perish. Or set a 100-0 is going to perish. Because there are going to be seasons where things might change. There are going to be seasons where things might change. And there might be a call to do less, or there might be a call to do more by whomever is involved. Let me tell you something else. When we start talking about marriage, I want you to understand this. See, everybody thinks marriage is a no. A lot of people think marriage is a partnership. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. And if a woman is supposed to be a man's helpmate, and a woman is supposed to be a man's companion, and that's what her design is for, you don't have to be someone's partner to be that. A companionship is someone who keeps company, someone who keeps you company, someone who relates to you and deal with you in such a way to make the journey easier. But that's not a partnership. Even a helpmate. Even a helpmate. A helpmate is not a partner. Doesn't have to be. A helpmate is like an aide, an assistant, someone who handles ancillary things, supplemental. They're not there to take on the whole thing, but they're there to aid and assist to make sure that the main thing is functioning as best as it can. And I think we've lost that in today's world when you start asking a woman what does she bring to a table, and she loathes that question. But the reality is it's important for her to be able to bring something to the table to aid and assist with the main thing. Now, you can't look at a woman to bring something to the table that's so pivotal and so important that without her, the man has nothing. A man has to have something going for himself to work with. And no, a woman is not supposed to be a freeloader and mooch off of what a man has to offer. She's supposed to have a skill set or skill sets that lends to that man and his purpose and his vision, and accelerating it and or helping it move more efficiently to get to the promise of what that vision is said to deliver. And every woman's not cut out for that. So that's why when you understand who you are as a man and you understand what your vision is, that helps you understand what kind of woman you need. And vice versa. When a woman understands who she is, what her skill set is, and what she brings to the table, then that helps her understand who she would be better suited for as a companion and a helpmate. But when I start thinking about partnership, okay, and in this case, two people, a partnership it takes a high level of communication. See, when you're a companion and you are a helpmate, you need communication, but you need it on a smaller micro level. You need it enough to just know and understand what it takes to be a companion and what it takes to be a helpmate and what it takes to receive a helpmate. That's it. Anything other than that is not necessary for a companion and a helpmate, whether you're the one being helped or you're the one helping. So now, a partner is someone who is vested into something and has some involvement enough to the point of impacting the methodology for desired outcomes, and they have a significant amount of responsibility to that vision and purpose that if they are missing, the vision cannot come into fruition. So at the negotiation table, when the partners meet, they communicate and discuss what's going on, what's going good, what's going bad, and what they need to do to maintain or improve what's good, and what they need to do to take what's bad and make it good. And during those negotiations, there is self-reflection, group reflection, and then there is self-accountability, and then there's group accountability. And nobody's running from it, but they are uncomfortable conversations to have. And everybody likes the perks and the benefits of being a partner, but how many people like the responsibility and the weight of being a partner? And there are people who, when they are at the negotiation table, they're not themselves. They can't function. They can't critical think. They don't want to critically think. They don't want to be told that they're wrong about doing something or not doing something. They don't want to be corrected. They don't like being corrected. They can't lean into correction, and they want to have nothing to do with correction. They're just completely and utterly in disdain about correction, reflection, accountability. These are the people that make terrible partners. Yet, they only look at the perks and the benefits of being a partner. They want to have involvement in the method and how things get done. They want to have a say in what is implemented and what is not implemented. They want their thoughts considered when it's time to make a decision about what to do, and they want things that they don't like and want taken out. And they don't have solutions to or alternatives to what they want taken out. See, when you're a partner and you're at the board meeting and something is presented, for whatever reason you don't like it or you don't want it to be involved, you have the floor to speak up. But you also have to submit an alternative option that's going to be not only viable, but unanimously better than the option that was presented. And a lot of times people don't like the process of how things need to go to get to where they ultimately want to go. But what they will do is because they're not involved in it, they don't know how critical these components that they want taken out of it are to making and achieving the success that they desire and they want. For instance, let's say a man wants to provide his woman the type of lifestyle where she is free to do whatever she wants to do. Most of the time in today's world, what it takes to become that, a woman's not down for. Today's modernized woman doesn't want to go through that process with you. But she is willing to be at the finish line when you get there. And see, the work has to be done to get to the finish line. And I'll go a step even further. The work goes beyond lining up at the blocks to run the race, to get to the vision. You can sit down and you can tell a woman, hey, look, I want to have a lifestyle for you where you are pampered. I want to have a lifestyle where you don't have to work. I want to have a lifestyle where everything is a choice for you. I want you to move around my kingdom like the queen does. Any move, anywhere, anytime. Okay? I just want you to be faithful and loyal to me. And she smiles and she's, oh my gosh, I found my knight in shining armor. But it's two conditions. Number one, if that man already has the means to make that happen, she has no problems saying, yes, let's do it, let's go. Because that's like being at the finish line. He's already got the fruits that she wants to partake of. But if that man is not where he needs to be, and he actually needs a helpmate to help him make that vision come into reality. And that woman doesn't want that responsibility, then one or two things has to happen. He has to let her go, and he has to do what he needs to do and get where he needs to be. But I can assure you, there ain't no second chances for a man that goes through that. Because if she doesn't want to be a part of the process, but she hangs around close enough to see the process go on so she ain't got to feel it or partake in it, and then he crosses the finish line, and then she shows up at the finish line right when he happened to cross, he's going to have some feelings. He's going to feel some type of way about her. Because he's going to be like, back then you didn't want me. Now I'm hot. You all on me. He's going to be like, you wasn't down for the cause when I was in the gym shooting my shots. You weren't in the gym with me. And I wanted you to be in the gym with me. I needed somebody to rebound for me and kick me out them balls so I can shoot. Pause. But you didn't want to rebound and you didn't want to give me an assist. So I don't want to deal with you. And in her delusional mind, if you're not careful, she's going to throw a hissy fit because she feels like she's entitled, as if hovering around him all this time is some form of payment to justify why she deserves the reward to stand on winner's circle with you, as if she'd been through something with you. No. If you can't be there for that man like he needs you to be, you ain't entitled to nothing. And he ain't got to give you nothing. You ain't entitled to nothing. But let's just say the race, let's just use this example. Let's say it's a man named Tim and it's a woman named Tina. Okay? Tim needs to run a particular race. Not any race. You know, not the 100, not the 200, you know, not the 800, not the 1600. No, he needs to run the 400. That's the race that he must run to cross that particular finish line to get to his vision. Right? And let's just say that event is coming up in 4 years. See, what an undisciplined person will do is say, I got 4 years, I got some time. Let me go and have some fun. Let me go and enjoy myself. They go out and they eat what they want. They go out and drink what they want. They go out and play and do whatever they want. And it's funny, time flies when you're enjoying yourself. And so he'll look up and 4 years will turn into 3. And 3 years will turn into 2. And 2 years will turn into 1. And then at some point along the line, Tim is saying, oh shoot, the big race is in 1 year. Let me start getting serious. But see, the other participants in the race, they didn't necessarily wait until a year before the race to start getting in shape. They started taking it serious as soon as it was announced that that race was going to be in 4 years. So Tim knows this. So Tim, he says, I got to train harder than everybody. And really, it's his guilt that makes him say, I got to train harder than everybody. Because he knows that if he trains, he's got to make up for lost time. But the problem is, his body won't used to training that hard. And there's a balance between pushing yourself and pacing yourself. Just like the 400 race. Anybody that ran the 400 will tell you it is not a walk. It is not an all-out sprint. But it ain't a jog either. It's about finding the peak of how fast you can go and maintain with enough reserves that when you come to that final stretch and you need to kick it in, that you kick it in. And you have more to kick in, meaning your speed is going to improve at the end of the race. And that's easy said, and that's difficult to do. Because you have other factors around you. You're supposed to be running your race. Yeah, you're racing other people, but you're supposed to be running your race so you can get your personal record. But you also, you're not stupid. You see other people running, and if somebody looks like they're running faster, then you start trying to run faster too because you are wanting to win the race. But Tim didn't train until starting like a year before the race. So Tim goes out and he trains really, really hard. He even puts in extra time people admiring Tim. He's taking it pretty serious. But Tim's making up for the last 3 years that he wasn't working out. And see, here's what happens. Now Tim, he ruptures his Achilles. Or he has a leg injury, like a quadricep or a hamstring. Now, Tim can't train because he's injured. And he's injured because he overdid it. See, the person that was training the day they found out the race was going to happen, they had a chance to ramp up, get their body used to it. It's probably why they announced the race 4 years. Now, the race comes, and the race that was so important that Tim stopped what he was doing a year before the race, now Tim can't run the race. And you know who's mad? His girl. His girl. And I'm not talking about a literal race. I'm just using a race metaphorically. And now that Tim can't even participate in the race because he's injured, his girl doesn't understand. She's waiting at the finish line. Tim never crosses because Tim never ran. So what does Tina do? If she ain't got no couth, she gonna try to grab somebody that came across the finish line. Well, I didn't come to the finish line for nothing. I'm gonna grab me somebody. And Tim's looking at her like, what you doing? And she feels justified. It's a cold world, but that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. Now, here's a second scenario. Okay, Tim says the announcement that the race is going to be in 4 years, I'm going to take it serious. So I'm not going to go and eat what I want to eat. I'm not going to drink what I want to drink. And I'm not going to go and do stupid things that I'm not supposed to do. I'm going to be where I'm supposed to be. And I'm going to do the best I can every day. And I'm going to work. So he looks at Tina and he says, Tina, will you be by my side and help me along the way? And Tina says, I ain't doing that. But I'll be there to cheer you on at your race. He's going to feel some type of way about that. Especially if another woman comes along and says, I'll go with you to your practices. I'll get you your rehydration. I'll be there for you to help you in whatever way I can. Just let me know what I can do. Let me know what I can do. And Tim's like, and it might not start off like anything serious. Tim will be like, okay, because I could really use the help. Yeah, can you go and get me some? Here, can you do this for me? Hey, hold this right here while I do. And over the course of time, all Tim is going to be overwhelmed with is his training and how much this woman, who's not Tina, is there for him. And then Tim gets to his race and he runs his race. Win, lose, or draw, this other woman who was there for him the whole time is at the finish line. But she don't just show up at the finish line. She's been there during the training. And while she's standing at the finish line, Tina's also standing at the finish line too. And if he comes across the finish line and gets what he needs, see, because a man doesn't have to win that race to get his personal best. See, if I raced against Usain Bolt, I'm not beating Usain Bolt, but possibly because I was in a race with Usain Bolt and because I trained, I got my personal best. Because Tina doesn't understand. Tina only sees it as a win and loss. She goes, but he didn't win. But this other woman, whoever her name is, let's call her Sally. Sally, she's at the finish line and she's congratulating him and crying with him. Because a true track star knows it ain't about nobody else you're racing, it's you. Are you doing what you're supposed to do to get better? And did you get better? And if your time is less than the time that you got previously, what went wrong? Why are you not getting a personal best every time you step on the track? Now, I'm not talking about the world record holders that already broke the record and they running in a heat that's not the finals and they ain't really worried about their personal best. They just want to win and position themselves in the heat. That's a luxury to get to that point. I'm talking about somebody who's running a real race of life. They want to do the very best that they can do. Now here's Tina upset that Sally is hugged up on Tim. Why? You weren't there for Tim. Yeah, I was. I was right there. I was just a phone call away. I was right in the shadows. I mean, I didn't mess with anybody. I didn't mess with anybody else. I didn't take anybody serious. Stop the cap. You know, if you told the truth about how many dudes you were with and what you were doing or whatever the case may be, that'll make you more unappealing. And you just trying to be as appealing as you can, dressed up for the occasion. But if there was no Sally and he finished the race, he probably still feels some indifference towards you, Tina. Tim don't want to be with you because Tim know you're not really going to be with him when it's time for him to roll up his sleeves and go to war. You don't want to play no role in the process, but you want to play the main role in the delivery of the reward. See, the process is the most important thing. The destination is already a guarantee. If it was given to you by the Most High. The Most High is basically like, if you do this, this is what you get. All you got to do is be obedient and do what you're supposed to do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. And then the victory is already yours. But now, the Most High leaves it up to you, based on what you have inside of you, how you're going to go about doing this thing. And you, considering the feelings, Tim considering the feelings of Tina, here's Tina. I don't really like that. I don't really like that methodology. I don't really think that that's really going to be good. It's just something about that I don't really care about. I don't really like. Okay. Yet Tina can't provide an alternative that's better. And you know why she can't provide it? Because Tina don't want nothing to do with the process. How could Tina be a partner when she's not doing partner things? When she's not taking on partner responsibility? When she's not taking on partner accountability? When she's not doing the sweat equity that it takes to be a partner? When she's not in the boardroom helping to make the decisions, and when there is an issue, helping to iron those issues out? Tina is not a partner. And for you fellas out here who take your Tina into that much consideration that you will stop doing what you know is in your heart to do to get to where you're supposed to, you're not doing her any favors, because she doesn't understand what it takes to get what she ultimately wants and what she ultimately desires. See, she wants somebody to take care of her, pay her bills. She wants somebody to take her shopping, give her the credit card, give her the foreign car, give her the pamperings, the trips, the flew outs. She wants all of that stuff. See, any dummy can come up with all of that stuff that they want because they see it on TV, they see their friends faking it on social media, and they get so excited about it that they know what they want, and they feel like that's what they want, and that's going to make them happy. But see, here is the thing. When it's not your purpose, you getting what you think you want that's going to make you happy is going to still leave you unfulfilled. There is a lot of women that took the career path that decided, I don't want to date men. I'll play with them, but I don't want to take nothing serious. I don't want to get tied down in anything. I don't want any children. I don't want any of that stuff. I want to go out there and do my career, and I want to travel the world in the 7 seas. I want to go shopping. I want to go here. I want to go there. I want to have girls trips. I want to do this. I want to do that. And you can look at all of them now because they've been doing it long enough. You can look at all of them now and see what they look like now. That name brand bag, that name brand shoe that she has or that she can get, it means nothing to her now. Nothing. And it holds no value now. She wearing $1,000 shoe that it took $1 to make in a Chinese sweatshop. And somebody told her to pay $1,000 for that shoe. And she immediately thought, since nobody else can hardly get this will give me what I desire in terms of attention. But nobody was really looking at her for the same attention she wanted. She wanted an attention that was going to be respectful to her. But nobody is looking at her and giving her attention for respect. Oh, she might be getting attention, but she getting attention because they want to knock her down. They don't want a relationship with her. But she brags about the access she has to a plethora of men that make a ton of money. But these men don't give her a relationship and security. They just give her the pogo stick. And she goes along and she fakes it like they're giving her something else. But she's inwardly miserable because she's just getting used and used and used. And not even putting two to two together and coming up with the formula that she is really the reason that she's being used. Her own self is the reason that she's being used. What? Yes. Because if she wasn't that way, she wouldn't attract the people that she attracts, and they wouldn't do the things to her that she has done to her. Let me say this. Only partners get to dictate the methodology in how things develop into what the goal is. If you are not a partner, getting your hands dirty, that's not taking care of the children and being a good wife. No, being a wife and taking care of your husband and your children does not make you a partner. That makes you a helpmate, and that makes you a companion. Stop it. You are not a partner. And most men aren't even looking for partners. Why? Because when you're dealing with a partner, you also have to deal with their feelings. But at least a partner with feelings and you having to deal with their feelings, at least they're also going to bring real solutions to solving the problem. And I can't stand someone who doesn't bring any solutions to the problem, but they got to say about everything that happens and everything that goes, because they think I'm in a relationship with you, so that automatically makes me a partner. No. Most of these marriages out here, especially to a modern woman, is not a partnership. And if that modern woman is working and making money, but she feels like Tim's money is our money, and she feels like Miss Tina's money is just for Tina, that is not a partner. At best, that's sponsorship. Know the difference. Know the difference. The greater the glory, the greater the story. And there is no great story without some adversity. The greater the story, the more the adversity. What makes a great story? Triumph. How can you triumph from going through nothing? Going through nothing, and you're talking about triumph. You sacrifice absolutely nothing, and you're talking about triumph. You went to go and stay at this expensive place that even though on paper you can afford, but you shouldn't have afforded it. You should have trimmed back some of that fat and stayed into something sensible so you'd have more money to be able to use money to make money. Because there's 4 ways to make money, okay, legally. And that's what's that thing called again? The cash flow quadrants. And I'm going to try to do this backwards. You have on your left side, because this is my right. On your left side, you have employee, makes up 80% of the workforce. Right below that, you have self-employee. Okay? That ain't nobody but somebody that own their work. They don't open up their doors. They don't make no money, and they don't trust anybody else to do what they do. Then at the top of here, you got business developer, business development. This is a system that doesn't require you to make money. And you multiply the people in the system, duplicating yourself and or duplicating people to handle the task to move it faster and more efficiently. And then at the bottom right, you have investor. Now that's different. That's when money is working for you. What's more dependable than a man is money. Money doesn't take breaks. Money doesn't take leaves of absence. Money doesn't take vacations. And money doesn't turn over unless you're turning it over into another dollar or you spending it. You either eating the seed or you are sowing the seed. And some of you go out here and you work really, really hard. You ladies who are, you women who are modern, you work really hard so you can spend it. You're looking for a sponsorship so it creates room, more room for you to take more of the capital that you go out there and you get, however you get it, so you can do more things that you want. You feel like your responsibilities and needs need to be taken care of by a man. So you'll make a man feel like he has something with you when he really doesn't have anything with you. And you give him a little something every now and then or whatever the case may be, just keep his mouth shut and everything. So he can continue to pay all of your bills, do all of the things that's necessity for you. Plus you want him to do a little bit more too, because you want him to spoil you too. And him just paying your bills and taking care of your responsibilities, that's not enough for you. That's standard. Every man should provide and protect. No, a man should provide and protect his. A man is not obligated to go out there and make an abundance of income and abundance of wealth and then go around the city and take unsuspecting girls and then change their lives. That's not what he's supposed to be doing. That's a trick. And Lord knows we got enough tricks in this world that'll do that. They know they can't get with you, but they'll flash something that you like so they can get what they want from you. And you get tricked because he's saying all of the right things. And you think that dude wants something serious with you. I don't even really want to marry him. But you know what? He really wants to marry me. He loves me. No, he don't. He's saying and doing what he got to say and do so he can get what he wants to get from you, and that's them draws. See, a lot of you think that men want to hit it and quit it. The only men that really want to hit and quit on a woman is a man that's got a Rolodex of women to go through. But it's hard for men to get a woman to agree to have sex with him. It's hard. So when he finds someone that agrees to have whoopee with him, guess what he does? Well, let me try to keep this going as long as I can. Whether y'all have declared it being exclusive or not, he's going to still say and do the things to stay in your good graces. But that doesn't mean that he wants to, just because a man is messing with you and buying you this and buying you that, that doesn't mean that he wants to be with you. He probably see all of the characteristics about you that he don't want. But he like that loving. Oh, he like that panky. Yeah. And a lot of you women out there, you're confused about somebody giving you attention because of the way you look and how you make them feel versus someone that really wants to build something with you or build something for you. See, you can't build something with a woman unless she's building it with you. You can say you're building with your woman, but if she's not helping you build and you're not building with her, you're building for her. And there's nothing wrong with building for a woman as long as she's giving you in return what she needs, what you need, and she's showing faithfulness and loyalty to you. And she's checking the boxes of being a good companion and a good helpmate. If she has the mindset of, hey, what do you need? I got you. And she, oh, come here. Let me hold you. Let me give you peace. Let me give you that. That's really all a real man needs from a woman. Make life easier for me and help me every now and then in this area, that area, so I can go out there and keep the main thing the main thing. But don't get it confused. That ain't a partnership. But that ain't necessarily a bad thing. That can be a beautiful thing. Because in order for a woman to enter the realm of partnership, she got to be able to check her emotions. If she can't check her emotions and she can't make critical decisions under stress, she can't be a partner. No matter how much she wants to be a partner, she can't be a partner. And even a woman who is a partner, understand, and for that matter, just a companion and a helpmate too, I'm talking about both of them. But they understand their role and they understand that the process isn't always a desirable thing, but they know that it takes the process being not cheated so that they become or get what it is that they set out to get. Because really and truthfully, it starts with a man sharing his vision with a woman. He finds some comfort with her and he starts sharing his vision. He's really sharing his vision with you, Tina, because he wants to get a buy-in from you. Because he knows if you buy into that vision, whether it's partnership or just companionship and helpmate, I say it together because they go together. They are not designed to be apart. You can't be an excellent companion and not a helpmate. And you can't be an excellent helpmate and not a companion. You will not be the woman. You will not be the wife if you missing one or the other. You have to have both of them. You have to do pretty well at both of them. And consistency. And unconditionally is only going to help you. I know Chris Rock says women, children, and dogs get unconditional love. But it's men who only get loved under the condition that they provide something. There's a lot that contributes to that. Simps and tricks help contribute to that. And simps and tricks don't care that I'm saying this about them. They care about what they can get. And if they got a simp and they got a trick to get it, they'll do it. When you're a companion and a helpmate, you have to understand you don't have a say at what happens at the negotiation table. That doesn't mean your feelings aren't valid. If you voice your feelings, you need to voice your feelings understanding that Tim doesn't have to change things to fit towards your feelings. Now, if Tim loves you and he cares about you, if he sees a way that he can accomplish both, Tim will do it. Especially if you ride for him. But if you tell Tim, I don't like that, and you just leave it like that, he may consider what else he can do. But if that vision is important to Tim, Tim is going to say to himself or you or a combination of both, he won't say, I don't see any other way that this is going to get done. Sorry. I got to do what I got to do. If you're going to tell Tina, listen, if you're going to tell Tim what you don't like about his methodology, please have thought it through and provide an alternative solution. At least provide an alternative solution if you're not a partner. Because a partner would already come with an alternative solution. That's their job. Their job is to adhere to, or if making changes, provide an alternative solution that's better. Because if I provide a 6-point plan and you don't like 2 of my points, but you ain't providing me 2 replacing points, I'm not going to even consider that. I'm going to say that's your personal problem. And you're going to get mad at me and I'm going to say, hey, listen, provide me an alternative because this has to have 6 points. But see, some of some of you Tinas out there, you want the 6-point plan to only be a 4-point plan. Then when the 4-point plan doesn't work, then you want to blame Tim for having a crappy plan. And you done forgot you made it a crappy plan, because when it was 6 point, it was good to go. But now it's 4 point, it's inefficient. It's inefficient now. So you have to stop doing that. And most women who are not partners and who are just companions and helpmates, they know their place. So they don't even bring it to that. They just, Tim knows what he's doing. Let me go focus on something else. I don't even want to think about the way Tim is getting things done. But I know Tim will get it done. Some of you right now are living in a house that you can barely afford. Some of you right now are driving cars that you can barely afford. Some of you are eating out at places you don't have any business going to as often as you go to. Some of you are doing things that are out of your budget, that are out of your pocket, all in an attempt to appease either someone or others. And the reality is, others really don't care. And that's someone, that Tina that you're trying to impress, Tim, Tina doesn't understand how critical what she lobbied to have removed is to her not seeing the fruits that your vision promises to give you. Feelings are measurements of where you are with reality. The more feelings of against that you have with reality, the more out of line you are with reality. And you must be in alignment with reality. Because if you accept reality for what it is, I didn't say you have to like it, but if you accept, yes, this is the reality, and yes, this is what needs to be done, that's the only chance you have to doing anything to change it. And some things in reality aren't meant to change, but you can't expect any reality to, listen, if you have to live with your grandparents for 2 years, you don't like that reality, but you don't know any other alternative that you can do to make the goal become a reality than to move into the basement at your grandmother's house. So what you're supposed to do is make the best you can in that circumstance. You free up this money so you can use it to make more money. And in 2 years you do the things that you're supposed to do, you'll be out of there. And the rest of your life will last. So if you're 27 years old, and I told you, you can go out there right now and you can have your own apartment, nice, cars, this, that, and the other, and you can have a wonderful lifestyle, but you won't really save anything, and there'll be times where you're feeling like you're check to check, and you're pretty much, your income versus your lifestyle is going to be relatively the same. And that's going to be like that. You're 27, that's going to be like that for another 40 years. And then when you retire, you're going to get 40% of what you couldn't live 100% on. And it's going to be real tough for you. Would you take that path? Would you sell out for 40 years to be a sucker when you're 67 years old? If you are, toodaloo, good riddance. But what if I told you, same scenario, you 27-year-old, you and your girl, you got to go stay at your mother's basement, your grandmother's basement. And I told you, if you do that for 2 years and you are good stewards over your money, you'll be able to buy land, you'll be able to build on your property, and you'll be able to become a real estate mogul. And you'll make more money than you would going straight into that apartment for 40 years. and your retirement's going to be, and every day of your life is going to get better and better. And you won't have to sacrifice anything in the retirement years. Matter of fact, you won't have to work nowhere near 67. You'll be able to retire at 50 or 42, and then you will be set for the rest of your life because your money is working for you and you're not working for your money. See, some of you hear that and say, well, I take the latter. I take the 2 years in the grandma's basement. But some of you, even hearing that and understanding that and getting the full effect of that beforehand, you still wouldn't do it because you don't like the feeling of what it's going to be for 2 years. See, that's why some of you are stuck in a rut where you are. You are not willing to sacrifice or compromise anything to gain everything. See, whether you believe in this story or not, let's go ahead and dive into it. See, before the Messiah started his ministry, he went into the desert. And he went into the desert and he didn't eat and he didn't drink and he was tempted. All three things are no fun. All three things for the period of time that he was said to have done this, a lot of you would not be caught dead doing that. This first sign of hunger pains is over with. The first sign of thirst is over with. And the first sign of temptation of anything that you desired and your flesh was rocking with, gone. You gone. You gone. You don't stand a chance. But see, the few that can go, see, the path for the unrighteous is wide. The path for the righteous is narrow. Everybody can't travel the righteous path because they don't want to do it. But the person that can get out of their feelings and out of their flesh and walk the righteous path, that's going to lead to victory. And the victory is guaranteed. It's your flesh that's trying to tell you that walking the righteous path is going to prohibit you from experiencing all that the world has to offer. See, because one of the temptations, the greatest temptation that the enemy gave to the Messiah is saying he would make him the king of all the kingdoms in the world. Was it prince or was it king? Doesn't matter. But he would make him to preside over all of them. And that sounded good. That sounded like an offer. If I told you right now, I'll give you all of the real estate in the United States, you would be like, yes, I'm taking that. But the best that the enemy could offer the Messiah is something that would eventually cease to exist. Meanwhile, his purpose, his truest purpose, the gift at the end of that purpose was was a kingdom that was everlasting. See, your feelings ain't going to get you to think about something that's everlasting. Your feelings are going to get you to think about what you see and you can feel, which you could reach out and touch. But the real purpose for the Messiah was simple. He was going to get something that he had not seen and that he had not touched. But the source that gave him the promise had an undefeated record of telling the truth and never telling the lies. So in a microcosm, that's the one thing that a man is the master over, the vision that's given to him. Nobody can tell him what to do with his vision. Nobody can offer advice, not even the most loving and closest person. The only advice that somebody can give you is advice where they have 100% of the information. Because how can I get 50% of the information and I make a decision of anything more than 50%? I can only make a decision based on the information I have. Look, man, y'all gonna understand one day why it's important to ignore people and to stop sharing with people what you're trying to do. They don't get it, they don't understand, and they are not qualified to advise you on what to do. You have to work out your own path. You have to work out your own time. You have to work out your own salvation. And your time, speaking of time, your time ain't like their time. You don't know how much time you got. So while you're bull jiving, your time could be running short. But I can guarantee you this: the moment, the day, the second, and the hour you get a vision, you got enough time to get that vision done if you stay on time. And just because it might be just like the example of 4 years before the event, it's not going to take you 4 years to get ready. Because the Most High wants you to be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So maybe it takes you 20 years to do what needs to be done, but you got 60 years left. If you did what you were supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, you have 40 years to enjoy it. But if you shuck and jive around and next thing you know, it take you 40, 45, 50, 55 years to do something that was supposed to be done in 20 years, soon as you start enjoying it, before you know it, you up out of here. And you're going to feel like, I didn't even get a chance to enjoy it. You want to live in this house. You want to drive this car. You want to travel here. You want to travel there. And it takes you until you 5 years away from your death to do it. Because you shucking and jiving around, considering this person's feeling, considering that person's feelings. And sometimes your partner who has no involvement in the boardroom process and speak on their feelings and tell you don't do this because they feel bad about it and do this because they feel good about it. I'm not saying that you don't get to accomplish your goal, but you, at best case scenario, you get delayed getting to your goal. And you need to get where you need to get to as soon as you can, without cutting corners. I ain't telling you to rush and shortcut to get there. I'm just saying get your head down and get to work to get there. Listen, if I walked I was 315 pounds. I am 225 pounds today. I did not go to the gym and I ain't do nothing crazy. All I did was walk for an hour a day. True story. True story. And a year and a half, I lost all of that weight. And yeah, I did change some of my eating habits, but not nearly as much as I just committed to walking every day for an hour. Not Monday through Friday, every day, 1 hour. And I did it because I thought this would be an opportunity for me to go into my place of Zen. I'd walk in my place of Zen. That's what I did. Some people put on headphones and listen to music. Some people want it quiet. Whatever it takes. The things that you are going to be asked to do for your purpose, it may in totality seem like a lot, but everything that you got inside of you, if you do it on schedule and on time, it won't be a lot. It won't feel like a lot. Not compared to you rushing and squeezing it in and jamming and cramming at the last minute. I'm not saying that it's going to be easy to do, but what I'm saying is you're equipped with everything that you need to do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. If I know I got to run a race and I can't run right now, but I can walk, maybe I can, if I do on time, I can start walking. Then I can start jogging. Then I can start running. Then I can start sprinting. And then next thing you know, I can sprint longer and longer and further and further. But it's a process to get there. But if I start out and I can't run and I take off and I start running, man, it's going to be some things that go wrong with me that might take me up out of here. So, listen, I'm going to wrap this up. But here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say this to you and I'm going to say it right now. I don't care who it is and I don't care how close that person is to you. Unless somebody is willing to get and put in the same amount of work that you're willing to get and put in for the vision and the purpose of your life, they disqualify from you listening to them. And I know some of you be like, yeah, but you can't be hard-headed. You got to be hard-headed about your purpose. You got to be stubborn about your purpose. You got to be adamant about getting it done because you have a purpose. And what else matters more than your purpose on this earth? Nothing and no one. So if you got to lose some people because you're doing your purpose, good riddance. You were supposed to lose them. You gain some people because of your purpose. Great. It's not good for man to be alone. But some of the purpose is going to require a period of time and some permanently for you to be by yourself. And I didn't say physically by yourself. Sometimes you have to be mentally by yourself. You can have a whole bunch of people going on around. You can have a whole bunch of people around you in your life, and you can still be mentally alone. If what you need to do is going to cause the person that's with you to walk out of your life, I'm not telling you to tell them good riddance. I'm just telling you to just keep on walking. Because when things don't turn out well for you in your life, ain't nobody taking the rap for that. Nobody. All right? So look, man, I hope you enjoyed what I was saying today. I hope it really resonated with you. Make sure that you leave a comment when you watch this video. I really would love to hear from you. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button so you get notifications when I'm dropping a new video. Also, make sure that you share this video. Share it on your platforms or whatever the case may be. And I'm leaving something out. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and hit the notification button so you're notified when the next video is coming. All right, it's been real. I thank you guys. Love you guys. Take what I said to heart because I wouldn't tell you anything that would hurt you. I love you.